The last time Kentucky and South Carolina met, the Wildcats shocked the basketball world and beat the Gamecocks in the SEC championship game. That game last March was the last time South Carolina has lost a basketball game. Can the Cats do it again? We are about to find out. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Picoro alongside of Jessica Limley. And really, Jessica, at 16-0, this game is almost like David versus Goliath being South Carolina and Kentucky.
No, it really is. And Kentucky will have their hands full tonight. South Carolina, the #1 team in the country. We'll see if Kentucky can do it.
South Carolina has 8 players that score over 5 points a game, so a very balanced attack. But the head of that spear, so to speak, is 5'9" senior Zia Cook.
And Zia Cook, the 2 times All-American, can shoot the basketball, loves the mid-range pull-up. Look at that, 17.8 points per game, 6 in the SEC. She's an incredible player, and Kentucky's going to have their hands full trying to guard her tonight. 3-point, 36% steals, great defender. So we'll see.
Really, just if Kentucky is to win, somebody has to have a breakout game, and it could be Robin Benton.
No, definitely. Robin Benton is Kentucky's star. Every game this year, 10-plus points every game this season. And you know what? She's going to have 20 this game for Kentucky to have a shot.
The other thing that is really surprising when you look at the numbers, South Carolina doesn't do it with offense. They smother you with their defense. It is ridiculous. Their home teams are 44 points a game.
It really is crazy. Just the points in the paint. Kentucky is going to have to pack it in, play a chaotic defense, and try to rebound the basketball.
All right, definite size advantage for South Carolina. The starting lineups, and they go big, and bigger for South Carolina. Zia Cook, Brea Beal, Kira Fletcher, Aliyah Boston, and Victoria Saxton are your starting 5 for South Carolina. Kentucky counters with Benton, Green, Walker, Shear, and Leveretter. It's been their starting 5 most of the season. Kentucky controls the tip, and they get it right to Maddie Shear, who is another one that Kentucky expects big things in this game.
And Maddie Shear is one of those players who can really control the game. She's got a great outside shot, and she's going to need to score tonight.
Jada Walker goes right to the basket and lays it in off the glass with the left hand. She is not afraid at a small stature to go in there into the paint and go up against 6'5" and 6'7" underneath. And Kentucky starts out in the zone. So the 2-3 zone for the Wildcats. That's Boston. Misses her first shot, but gets the rebound and puts it back up and in. And that's what you cannot afford is offensive rebounds.
Boston, you know, South Carolina, yes, they're going to shoot the basketball, but if you can find a way to block them out and get the rebound and run, Kentucky's going to have a shot.
Boston at 6'5", 2022 National Player of the Year. You recognize most of these names because they've been around. It's a very experienced team that South Carolina has. Blair Green, another big shooter, and she misses straight away from the 3. Here's Dawn Staley, Hall of Famer, 16-0 this year. In 15 years, she's won 382 games. She's lost 105. That is unbelievable. 3-time gold medalist in the Olympics, 2-time national championship coach. She is something else.
Yes, she is one of the best coaches in college basketball right now.
They go right to the middle to Saxton. She drops it down low. And again, a beautiful pass to the middle of the lane. And that drop down is pretty tough to beat.
It really is. Aliyah Boston is so big. Kentucky's really going to have to try to find a way to not let her get the ball.
You know, you and I were talking about this. Blocking out, doesn't matter how big you are. It's all positioning as Walker goes to the basket and lays it in again off the glass.
Great take by Walker. And I really like to see Kentucky attacking the basket and not being afraid of South Carolina's long defense.
So we played 2 minutes, and Kentucky has gone toe-to-toe so far. There's the drop down again, and off the glass. Beautiful shot there by Victoria Saxton.
And I like the zone defense by Kentucky right now, but they really have to make South Carolina shoot outside shots.
Shear misses a little strong on that 3, and here comes South Carolina running again. Ahead it goes to Beal. She's going to kick it back out, and they'll start the offense all over again. This is Saxton out front. Kentucky stays in the man-to-man. Drop down again to Boston. She gets position. She is just so good with her footwork.
No, she really is. And for being how big she is, to be able to move her feet like that, it's something she's really had to work on over the past years.
Benton's three is going to be short. We just showed you Kyra Elsie. And Kyra, of course, was a great player in her own right. Tennessee, something else. Here's Beal. Nice dribble inside to Saxton. They might call the foul here on Benton. They do. First foul of the game. It came almost 3 minutes in.
South Carolina coming right out Kentucky's defense. I like how Benton dropped down on that just a little bit late.
Cook, and they're going to get Benton with another quick fall. So that's two. It's exactly what Kentucky can't have, and she's going to have to take a seat.
No, and that's one of those plays that Zia Cook coming off the screen, Benton just got to let her catch and shoot it, hand up, try to make it hard for her, but you can't get that second foul this early on.
And again, the one player that we featured at the start of this game, Robin Benton, already on the bench for the Cats with 2 fouls. Cook, a 78.5% free throw shooter. And she knocks them both down. So Kentucky in a little bit of a hole here, 10-4. Missed their last 2 shots. In South Carolina, it's strictly a man team, and Walker for the 3rd time goes right out of the rack and lays it in off the glass.
And you know, that was one of my keys to the game for Kentucky, is just not being afraid and attacking the basket. And she has done that so far today.
3 on the way, in and out. Battling inside is Kennedy Cambridge. The freshman leads the 3-on-2 break. Gets it back on the baseline. Nice little move and good pass over to Leveretter. She wasn't ready for it. Cambridge drives, loses the ball, has to get it away, and it's taken away by Fletcher. They're going to call another foul, this one on Leveretter for a reach-in. Cambridge just couldn't get a handle on that basketball.
No, and that's one of those live ball turnovers that Kentucky cannot have. Because if they don't foul there, that's probably going to end up a layup for South Carolina on the other end.
Well, and I was just going to say, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of let that call slide, because the offense they had the advantage there, right?
Exactly.
I mean, they've got the ball, and they're already getting ready to head the other way. So you're really taking away from the offense and not really punishing the defense.
Yes, and that foul was able, or leads to Kentucky being able to set up their defense.
Yep. Nice defense there. Shot clock down to 1. Just getting it away, and it drops in for Cook. Boy, that is awareness of where that shot clock is and where you're on the floor.
No, it really is, and Zia Cook loves the mid-range pull-up.
And that's one of those situations where she couldn't pass it at that point. So she just gathered herself and kicked it in off the glass. Shearer's 12-footer is good. Without Benton in the game, you're losing that 17-point. Shear really has to step up.
Yes, she does, and beautiful shot by her. Now let's see if Kentucky can get a stop on the defensive end.
Well, almost did there. Saxton can't get it to go, and it kicks out right back to Cook. Off of Fletcher, back to Fletcher again. Kentucky still playing one-on-one. Boy, nicely done there. Dropped it inside. They saw the mismatch inside to Boston. This South Carolina offense almost every time goes inside out. You were like that, right? Fearless to go right down the lane.
Yes, and right now I am loving Walker. She is attacking the basket. Beautiful basketball. Kentucky has to get offensive rebounds.
Jada Walker averaging just 10 a game. I say just because she has been known to explode in the mid-20s. She's got that kind of firepower.
And like you said earlier, with Benton on the bench, Shear and Walker have to step up this game.
Boston back to Fletcher. They kick it back out. Again, shot clock going down. Boston's got it with 1 on the shot clock, and they dropped it in. It's 2 times in a row. Use the entire clock.
Boston is so good. Kentucky's holding them to the full shot clock as much as they can, but they have to find a way to keep Boston out of the paint.
Boy, that really has to get under your skin. You play great defense for, the entire shot clock, and they score with 1 second left. Adeyeye gets it blocked away inside. Should have gone straight to the basket that time. Way outside to Saxton. Boy, Cook.
Zia Cook with the moves.
What a shot. Cambridge all the way back the other way into the paint. She'll step back three. No good off the back iron. And Kentucky controls the rebound. Shear with the three. And Maddie Shear knocks down the first three for the Wildcats.
And great hustle by Kentucky. Way to get that offensive rebound. And good court awareness with Maddie Shear being an excellent three-point shooter and somebody finding her to get her the open shot.
Well, Boston has just got such great size underneath. Here comes Kentucky again. Shear loses the ball, but it's picked back up by Walker. Walker's going to go right to the basket. Oh, Boston's just too big. Had too much height that time. It's a run out the other way. Boy, great job by Leverett with the block, and they call a jump ball. Wow, that was great defense by Shear and good hustle by Leverett.
No, it really was, and Kentucky's holding their own. South Carolina 18, Kentucky 13.
.13 is your score. South Carolina leads it over Kentucky, but one of the big reasons is because it's awful tough to guard the National Player of the Year.
No, it really is, and Aaliyah Boston has been so good this game. Kentucky, like we said from the start, has their hands full. She puts one up, misses it, but gets that offensive rebound every single time. So Kentucky's really going to have to find a way to put a body on her.
She just has got such great footwork and really good hands. I mean, she catches the ball high, she catches it low.
No, she really does, and that's the thing. Her teammates know where she is on the floor at all times. And look at those stats. I mean, 2022 SEC Female Athlete of the Year, two-time National Player of the Year, 2022 Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, and the list just goes on and on.
We've already seen her make a great defensive play on Jada Walker, but how about South Carolina? Season lows against Mississippi State, but they still win. Big numbers, the one in the middle, the free throws.
Yes, definitely, and the dominant boards.
Yes.
South Carolina, 22 offensive rebounds. Aaliyah Boston in that game, 12 points, 15 rebounds. But what I see tonight, Kentucky is in this game because Walker is pushing the pace and not being afraid to attack the basket. We've kind of seen that out of Kentucky. Now, they're going to have to continue that the entire game while putting a body on Aaliyah Boston and not letting her get second chance points when she misses her first shot. But
how do you stay in the game without Benton? Because obviously she saddled with 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the game. When can you bring her back?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's a tough one that Coach Kyra is going to have to figure out. But right now, you've got some Kentucky players who are going to need to step up. Benton, an excellent scorer, as we saw some of Kentucky's teammates getting Maddie Shear an open three to try to get her going. Walker, keep attacking the paint.
So now Petty comes into the game for the Wildcats. It gives them some good size inside. She's a 6'3" junior, and that is her on the defensive end. And boy, just Camila Cardoso has just got great size at 6'7". Goes right over.
Yeah, South Carolina is making that inside the paint shooting look super easy right now.
This is Amaya Jenkins with the ball. She's also in the game for the Cats. She's a freshman out of Anderson County High School. She's so athletic. Boy, they missed Shear, who had a cut. Petty just kind of holding on to the basketball. Now she's in trouble. Jenkins with 4 on the shot clock, gets blocked away, and out of bounds it goes. But Kentucky's going to have to get this and get it in quickly and get a shot off.
And that's the thing. Early on, Kentucky attacking the basket, getting easy layups. Now South Carolina realizes that. They're sliding some people over, so you have to realize when to jump stop and make that extra pass.
Boy, Shear, catch and shoot, done to perfection there from 16 feet on the baseline. Kentucky stays within 5. Johnson in the game now. Raven was a 2021 high school Naismith and WBCA National Player of the Year, and she was injured, missed all of last season except the first game. Petty has got a good size, but is dwarfed inside by Josa, and there's a block again. They average almost 10 a game.
No, excellent defense by South Carolina.
Another bad pass and 2 straight turnovers for South Carolina. These are just ridiculous numbers, aren't they?
No, it really is. I mean, just the fact that South Carolina, they're so big, they're so long, they're so talented, and to be able to communicate on the floor and just their defensive numbers, it's really incredible.
So now into the game for South Carolina, Ashlyn Watkins, the freshman. Tell you about her in just a bit. Walker gives it off to Petty. Nice drop down. She goes under the basket, and she's fouled. Thought she should have gone up on the left side that time.
Yeah, she could have got maybe an and one on that left side. Did a little fancy move that she didn't necessarily need to do, but she did draw the foul.
So Asia will step to the free throw line. This will be just her 3rd attempt of the year. She was 1 of 2 coming in. She get one more.
And to stay with South Carolina, the #1 team in the country, you're going to have to make your free throws.
Yep. As we just saw that last full screen we showed you in that Mississippi State game, they had 14 free throws in that game to just 5 for Mississippi State. And that is because they work it into the paint. So Boston on the bench, Cardoso in at the 5 spot. Boy, she is a big target in the middle at 6'7".
Yes, she is. And that's one thing. I mean, Aaliyah Boston goes to the bench. South Carolina just brings in another big, and they keep going in the paint.
Boy, Adeyeye ties up Watkins inside, and it'll go to Kentucky.
And nice defense by Kentucky. Way to know where she is. Adeyeye comes down and just grabs the ball and gets it tied up.
We talked about how, as a big, you want to keep that ball above your shoulders to not allow the smaller players to get in there.
Yes, especially when you have the height advantage like South Carolina does.
South Carolina put Bree Hall in there, the 6-foot sophomore, to try to guard Walker, and Walker goes right around her and gets fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line.
I love how Walker's attacking the basket. On that one, she saw South Carolina's player coming over. She kind of gave a little hesitation move and drew the foul nicely.
Bree Hall, the guard out of Dayton, Ohio, one of their better defenders on the ball, and they put her on Walker, but it does not phase her. She goes right to the basket. 1 of 2, and she's going to run down the loose ball. And she'll try it again. How she got that shot off, I'll never know. And again, Cardoso couldn't handle that pass, and look at Walker and Cambridge laughing like Cambridge would have said, man, I don't know how you got that off the rim.
No, if she would have made that, the crowd would have gone wild.
Yes. So Kentucky will hold here for the final shot of this quarter. Just 8 left on the shot clock for Walker. Now she's in trouble with 4 on the shot clock. Cambridge is going to have to take the shot here. And she didn't get it away in time. That was hard anyway, but Kentucky hanging around with South Carolina. So the Wildcats score 17. They trail by 3, but Jada Walker did a great job as she leads all scorers with 9 points, and it's 2017 South Carolina after 1. Welcome back to Memorial Coliseum, and Jada Walker's literally kept the Cats in this game so far.
No, she has, and she has been a threat on the offensive end. Right now, South Carolina cannot stop her. She just keeps attacking, whether it's making hesitation moves or getting to the basket and getting fouled and making her free throws. She's going to need to continue to keep doing that, though, for Kentucky to stay in this game.
It's amazing to me at her size where it just doesn't matter. They list her at 5'7". That's on her tiptoes. But she goes in against 6'5", 6'7", and somehow contorts her body to get those shots off. It's amazing.
No, it really is, and I guarantee you she was probably practicing those before practice today. It's one of those things that she's so small compared to South Carolina. She just has to figure out a way to get to the basket, and that's honestly off of her first step. She is so quick off that first step, and look at that. Benton and Walker, Benton on the bench. 16.3 points per game for Benton, Walker 12.4. It's really incredible that Walker is getting to the basket right now in South Carolina.
And the big thing those two have too is great hands and quickness. And they get those steals, as you see, they're 2-point. They, 4.5 steals between the two of them a game. So South Carolina starts with the basketball here, and in the game, Watkins. Now they go inside Cardoso. Inside out game. This is Johnson. Little reverse layup will not fall, and here comes Kentucky the other way. Ooh, they had Cambridge, and Jada Walker didn't see her in time. Double team. That's where you want it. Petty, nice drop down to Leveretter. Leveretter puts it in.
Nice ball movement by Kentucky. That started with the reversal, get it inside, pull their post players out, and make the easy layup.
Boy, look how she follows her shot, and Leveretter knocks it away, and Petty picks it up. Nice play there by Nia Leveretter for the Wildcats. Knew she couldn't get the rebound, so she just tapped it to her teammate.
Yes. And that's unusual, though, for South Carolina to get that offensive rebound and miss that putback. So Kentucky got lucky on that one.
They're going to get Boston right back in the game as Kentucky's pulled it within one, and a chance here to take the lead. Cambridge, three. No good. A little hard. Petty runs it down. Up, they're going to call a tied up, and that will be Kentucky basketball.
And Walker, just her ball handling skills are so well for Petty to be able to see that backdoor cut for Leveretter. Knock down the easy layup. That's what you have to do to beat the #1 team in the country.
Boy, it is an absolute war to get the ball in against the South Carolina defense on inbound plays. Shear steps back for three, and she knocks down her second triple of the game. And the Wildcats have taken the lead.
And that's one thing that if you give a team confidence in that first quarter, Shear hits a three coming out the back. Now the basket gets a little bit wider for those shots to go in, at least in their eyes.
Walker splits defenders off to Petty. Runs into Boston. Ball's on the ground. Loose ball. And they're going to call jump ball, so it'll go back to South Carolina. It's the fourth jump ball we've had already in this game, and we played less than 12 minutes.
In South Carolina, both South Carolina and Kentucky are just battling. Everybody's on the floor for that loose ball.
Ball kind of got stuck on Petty's hip. There's Dawn Staley. Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame player. Leveretter gets their hands in there, gets the steal off the Shear. Ahead they go, and Walker puts it in, and the Wildcats have a 4-point lead.
Kentucky right now is making it chaotic for South Carolina, and that's what they have to do on defense.
Amiri out front with the basketball, just pounding it. Shot clock down to 15. Another steal. Cambridge has it. She's going to go in on the defender. Kicks it off to Walker. Cambridge back to Shear. Three. Good!
An excellent decision by Cambridge to kick that ball out and not try to score over two of South Carolina bigs.
The crowd here at Memorial Coliseum going wild as the Wildcats have opened up a 7-point lead on the #1 team in the country. And Cook steps out of bounds. It'll be Wildcat basketball.
And Dawn Staley is not very happy right now with South Carolina's lack of discipline. I mean, you have to see where you're at on the floor, especially when Kentucky gets a run like this. You can't make a silly turnover like that.
Staley does not call a timeout. Here's what you were talking about. Smart play right here by Walker and Cambridge, right?
Yes, look at those two bigs in there. She just finds Shear. Shear gets to the open spot and says, hey, give me the basketball and I can make this shit three.
Bria Beal has the defensive call on Walker. Here comes the double team. Walker gets out of it. Goes to the basket and lays it in off the glass again.
Walker is hyped right now. Her confidence level is just amazing. And South Carolina double teams her and she still gets around them.
Kentucky playing some pretty good defense. Here's Fletcher, gets into the paint. Right at the elbow. That shot is short. Rebound pulled away by Shear. So 1-on-3, so nope, they're going to call that over and back. Walker had not got into the forecourt. They're saying she was still in the backcourt when she caught the basketball.
Yeah,
that was really close.
It was really close, but as soon as it left Shear's hand and I did not see her over the half-court line, I was like, no, that is not good. Watch
again here. Here's Shear's pass. Oh, she stepped in. That was good. That should not have been called over and back. So the Cats get, or I should say the Gamecocks get a break there. Boy, great defense by the Wildcats. Fletcher, no good with the shot. Takes the body and the foul. She'll go to the free throw line.
And South Carolina just trying to get something going right now. Hands straight up, but the refs called it a foul.
Kentucky has made their last 4 shots. They're shooting 54% from the field, 12 of 22. But more importantly, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. Fletcher, 2 free throws here. 60% free throw shooter, makes 1 of 2. So the lead is 8. Shear thought she was going to take that just inside the top of the key. Boy, good defense by South Carolina.
No, it really is. And like we talked about earlier, they are so long and just like that, just to get a tip on the ball.
And they're going to call this one on Leveretter underneath, as they were both going after the ball. She got her body into South Carolina player.
Like I said, Fletcher just getting that hand on the ball, just barely tip it there, just so long and lengthy. Kentucky needs to keep moving the ball, getting ball reversal, and trying to hit and make the open shots where they're not contested.
So Petty and Leveretter take a seat. Kentucky a little bit smaller here. Adeyeye now has the difficulty of guarding Boston. But Shear tips it in the air, and it's taken away by Jenkins. Jenkins into the forecourt, back to Shear. Shear stops and pops and knocks it in.
And Shear is on fire right now.
The largest lead of the game for the Wildcats. They lead it by 10. Fletcher into the paint. Boy, Boston and Adeyeye battling underneath. You can't call that foul. That's just 2 people battling for position. I didn't think. You got 2 bigs down there. They're just pounding away.
Yeah, no.
So Russell in, Jenkins out.
That's just the refs trying to control the game, not letting it get too dirty. South Carolina, I don't know if they've been down 10 the entire season like this.
So now Shear comes out and Walker comes back in. Shear's got 15, Walker 13 to lead the Wildcats. 28 of their 31.
And look at Aaliyah Boston just taking it herself to the basket.
That's using your size exactly perfectly there. She just moved him out of the way. Didn't create any foul. Here's Blair Green. Back to Walker, plenty of time on the shot clock, 15 seconds. Walker drives again, and that one's blocked away from behind by Saxton. So South Carolina now with 6 blocks in the game already, but the Wildcats lead it by 8. (31-23) is your score at Memorial Coliseum, but won a game so far by Maddie Shear. We said that somebody had to step up and have a breakout game. This could be the game for Shear.
No, it really is. I mean, she is on fire, but that's one thing. South Carolina let her get going easy in the first quarter, and now she saw it go in one. She's such a great shooter. She's just like, get me the ball and I'll put it in.
Yeah, in high school, she was a ridiculous shooter and really has... the first time we've really seen her take over a basketball game.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially with Benton on the bench. I mean, look at that. Points 22, rest of the team 26. She wants this win. And, you know, great players step up when they're playing a great team. Number 1 South Carolina is a great team. And she's proving her point that she's an excellent basketball player right now.
Well, Jessica, the other thing that really shocks me a little bit is the fact that South Carolina only gives up 44 points for an entire game.
No.
And Kentucky now, it sits at 31 with just under 5 minutes to play in the first half.
No, it really is. And Kentucky's in their huddle right now, just telling everybody to settle down. They're good. Come back out, play South Carolina basketball, and see they're not going to score 10 points in a row, but if they can get a score, they're right back within a few of this basketball game.
So Kentucky's outscored South Carolina 14-3 in this second quarter so far. Wow. And Kentucky gets a 5-second call. You can't have those. Those are just... You've got to have that clock in your head, right?
No,
you got to know, I got to look and and I got to get it in.
You really do, but that is one I will say, since it is a dead ball turnover, Kentucky can set their defense up. I'd rather have that rather than them trying to throw it in and South Carolina getting a steal.
Boy, another big shot by Zia Cook. How many times has she done that? South Carolina falls behind and Cook pulls them out. That time when she stepped into a three and knocked it down. Cuts the lead to 5. It was 10 just a second ago. A turnover and a three-point bucket. There's the double team. Walker goes through it. Blair Green, she'll fire from 3. Just off, but nice rebound by Russell inside for the Wildcats.
And we're used to seeing South Carolina get their offensive rebound. Now Kentucky getting some offensive rebound, trying to get another chance, but a turnover.
Yeah, Russell very athletic, but that ball taken away by Johnson. She goes all the way in and scores.
A nice take by Johnson to get this ball game back within 3.
Well, you just said it. If, you know, a make, a take, and a make, and here you are.
Yes.
3-point game. Cambridge playing one-on-one basketball against Bria Beal. Now it's Walker's turn. Yeah, she's seen that one too many times, says Boston.
Boston said not again.
And they're going to call that foul on Bria Beal.
That's one of those things. I like the attack by Walker, but South Carolina now has made an adjustment to stay back in the paint. So Walker then needs to try to kick and find her open teammate for maybe an outside shot.
Shear back into the basketball game for the Cats. She got about a 2-minute breather. Blair Green passed on to 3 and kicked it back to Shear. Under 10 on the shot clock. Maddie Shear, twisted her ankle and goes down. Slipped a little bit on the floor. And right back at him, and one is Cook.
Zia Cook, such a strong player, taking that ball to the basket, getting the and one. I mean, just look at that. Look at that move. She makes it look easy.
Zia Cook, the 2-time All-American, averages 15 points a game. She's got 11 already. And now her and Boston have 12 apiece, so 24 of the 30 points have come from the 2 All-Americans.
And that's the thing. We've been talking about Boston being inside the paint all game, but Zia Cook is what makes this South Carolina team go. She's excellent. She's an excellent defender. She's a gritty player. She loves that pull-up jump shot, and she gets her team back in the ball game.
Cambridge has dribbled for about 10 seconds there, and now you're going to get another call on Beal. Watch Shear's ankle here as she stops to shoot.
Yeah, she is awkwardly trying to get away from South Carolina's defense and goes down, but hopefully she's all right.
It's the first time Kentucky's had an easy inbound pass off of any. Petty back into the game for the Cats. She's drawn Boston away from the baskets, opened up the middle. Jenkins goes up and under and shot that ball and hit the bottom of the backboard. Ahead at Cook. Cook lays it in, and just like that, South Carolina has erased the 10-point lead, and they're on a 10-0 run.
And Zia Cook so quick. Look at that pass, just leading her teammate to get the open layup. Zia Cook sprinting the floor. Just excellent basketball.
So Kentucky had a 10-0 lead, and it's a 12-0 run. South Carolina has made their last 5 shots and has taken a 2-point lead. It's almost, I don't want to say unfair, but it's just amazing how they can just turn the switch.
No, it really is. And like we talked about earlier, all they had to do, stop, score, stop. And that's what they did. And that's the thing. When you play the #1 team in the country, a great basketball team, the margin of error becomes so small for Kentucky because South Carolina knows everything Kentucky does, if they turn the ball over, they're getting it out, scoring an easy layup. Just everything. Kentucky has to take care of the basketball. And it's been a shifting game. Offensive rebound, 48.2%. They just know how to crash the glass. Kentucky just needs to settle down and try to get something easy this next possession.
Yeah, even get to the free throw line. Anything to just score a point to get off this run. 13-2 over the last 4 minutes plus now for South Carolina. This is Maddie Shears. The shot clock rolls down to 10. Shears going to take it herself. Pulls back out with 5. Got to get the shot off. Adeyeye does, but it's just off the front of the iron. Again, got to know where the clock is, and Amaya Jenkins didn't. Boy, Cook comes all the way in with the one-hander, won't go. Battle for the rebound goes back to the Gamecocks. And now Johnson pulls it back out front. Kentucky stays in the man-to-man. 1:30 to play here in the first half.
And that's what South Carolina is so good at. They might miss the first shot, but they're going after that offensive rebound.
Boston to Cook. She lays it in again, and a foul.
And we talked about Walker attacking the basket earlier. Zia Cook now exploding to the basket. And it's all about that first step. Look at the layup.
Yeah, that was the first one, and she missed. Ooh.
And just look at her using her body to get to the basket, getting that extra step.
I'm not so sure Boston didn't step out of bounds before she released the ball underneath. Ball never lies there. Oh, what a bad pass by Petty. You cannot do that as Johnson. She just casually flips it out to Shear, and Johnson kind of goaded her into that, and Petty tells her to come to the ball. Wow.
Yeah, and that's one of those mistakes like we were talking about. Just the margin of error being so small. That's just a simple basket for South Carolina that Kentucky did not need to give them.
Yep. So instead of being up at the half, Kentucky is going to have to do something amazing to stay in this game. They're down 6 now. 42 seconds left in the half. There's the drop down to Boston. She's such a great passer. Over to Cook. 3 on the way. No good. Cambridge. There's about a half a second difference in the game clock and the shot clock.
And South Carolina is face guarding Maddie Shear right now.
Yep. Raven Johnson, the redshirt freshman.
South Carolina is saying, if Kentucky is going to beat us, it is not because of Maddie Shear.
There's the switch. Cambridge has got it. Now she kicks it back. 5 on the clock. Adeyeye. Her shot good with 2 seconds left. So Kentucky gets the basket they were looking for by Adeyeye, and they trail only by 4. Your thoughts of the first half?
Way to be patient with the basketball. Kentucky got out to a great start. South Carolina turned it on in the second quarter, and now they're up 37-33.
Kentucky came out and blistered the basketball. They're still shooting just under 44%, but South Carolina up to 57%. It's a 4-point game at the half at 37-33. Welcome back to Memorial Coliseum. We're at the half where South Carolina, the number 1 team in the country, leads at 37-33 over the Kentucky Wildcats. And I'll tell you what, Jessica, in that first half, Kentucky had built as much as a 10-point lead, but South Carolina used that 16-2 run to get it back, took the lead, and now they've got the 4-point lead as we get ready to start the second half.
No, really, Jeff. Kentucky came out fighting, and that's what they're going to have to continue to do. You know, South Carolina, an excellent team. They're going to continue to battle. First half stats, Maddie Shear, she was the player to watch. She got an easy 3 in the first quarter, and then the bucket just got wide for her, as well as Walker. Walker attacking the basket, not being afraid of South Carolina's defense. But now what I want to see from her, South Carolina, a great team, has made some adjustments, so now she's going to have to learn to kick the basketball. South Carolina, Zaya Cook attacking the basket. She loves her pull-up jump shot. She's gotten to the free throw line a couple of times. She can knock down the open 3. She has been unstoppable and a reason why South Carolina is leading the game now.
You know, when you look up and down the roster, they're full of All-Americans and Players of the Year, but Shear and Walker really did a great job in that first half.
No, they really did. And Shear, like I said earlier, came out ready to play. 15 points, 75% field goal percentage. Now, let's see if she can regroup at halftime. Kentucky come back out, settle down, but I have a feeling South Carolina is going to come out ready to play.
So Robin Benton played all of 3 minutes in the first half. 3 minutes, had 2 fouls, and sat for the entire first half. And now she's back in, and that's her with the basketball. She leads this Wildcat team, averaging 17 a game. Goes right to the basket, can't get it to fall. Boston with the rebound. Like that aggressiveness, though.
I do like the aggressiveness. Like I said, Zaya Cook being aggressive to the basket and just getting some easy layups right now.
Walker was such a force in that first half. She's going to drive on Boston again. Blair Green open. That's a miss. Missed everything that time. She is a much better shooter than that.
No, she is. But, you know, I would like to see right now Shear's on fire, Walker's getting to the basket. So let's see if the Kentucky players who really haven't scored try to get their teammates who are hitting some open shots.
Inside it goes, and Kentucky didn't rotate back. Boston an easy basket, so South Carolina comes right out of the half and scores the first 4. Blair Green again fires. This time she makes it from mid-range. That shot is gone from college basketball, both men and ladies.
It really is, but she found a way to knock it down.
Nobody uses a 12 to 15-foot jumper anymore. I don't know why. Kentucky back to within 6. Staying in that man-to-man defense. Right to the free throw line they go. Beal. 3. No good. Rebound comes away to Jada Walker. Here come the Cats running. Carolina back. Walker working on Zaya Cook. Now Benton. Benton and Beal. The cutter is Shear. She'll pull it out with 12 on the shot clock. Floater gets the shooter's roll.
And Shear, she finds a way to score the basketball.
17 now for Shear. Fletcher all the way up and under. Shot is no good, but a foul called inside on Leveretter. I think if it is, that's 3 on Naya.
And both teams being very aggressive, attacking the basket and getting to the free throw line.
Again, it was that one little push down with her hand. You just have to stay vertical as you can, right?
And that's the thing. That's usually what it is nowadays. The refs have really been taught to, even if your hands drop just a little bit, to call that foul.
So Leveretter out and back in the game, Adeyeye. There you see her, number 25 for the Cats. Adebola Adeyeye. Fletcher, it's the first. Fletcher, the 60% free throw shooter, knocks them both in. They're now 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Kentucky 2 of 4 from the charity stripe. Here's Benton again.
And you see there, Fletcher is face guarding Maddie Shear right now. They do not want her to touch the basketball.
Shear looking to go inside now. There's the drop down to Benton. Benton step back off the glass. Too hard. Shear with the rebound. Little too quick with that shot there. She saw Boston there and just wanted to get it away, right?
Panicked a little bit.
Yeah. Fletcher stops, pops, and good for about 6 feet. 8-point lead now. Wildcats cut it to 4. 4 quick points by South Carolina. And Kyra Elsie wants to chat with her team. So 7:22 to go here in the third quarter, and South Carolina leads it by 8, 45-37. Back at Memorial Coliseum, 45-37 is your score with 7:22 to play. And, you know, Jessica, you would be on... No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't be anywhere
Tallest
close
Division I
to
teams.
that. Hey, but I have heart. I play with heart, though.
That's all we needed.
But it really is. I mean, UConn's up there, Indiana, Michigan, Oregon, South Carolina. But height, you can't teach height, and that's one thing. I mean, on the defensive end, just having those hands up makes you grow, 5-6 feet taller. So it's really not even 6'1". It's 6'5", 6'6" with your hands up. And trying to score over that is not easy. You know, some people make it look easy, but it really isn't. And just look at those height comparisons. Kentucky average 5'9", South Carolina 6'1". Makes a big difference.
4 to 5 inch difference per player, and it's a huge difference here. That was a kick. Beal is 6'1". Walker maybe 5'6", 5'7".
And that's the thing. On the offensive end, yes, Kentucky has been attacking the paint, but some of their shots have been contested just by South Carolina's team putting a hand up.
Just
in
their
face.
sheer size, sure. Walker 14 on the shot, and there's that shot, and there's that block, and that was Victoria Sexton, 6'2". And she throws that one away. Comes out of nowhere. Watch this one.
And like we were talking about, just the size advantage that South Carolina has. Just jumps straight up and gets a tip on the ball.
Almost look like a volleyball player going up for a block, right?
Yes. Look at that. South Carolina 9 blocks to Kentucky's 1.
Benton, Adeyeye, open jumper, good. Adeyeye now a couple of jump shots from 10 to 12 feet, both of them.
Yeah, and Benton really set that one up, driving the lane.
Cook hard on that one. Benton drops it off to Walker. She wasn't ready for it. And Boston pulls it back into the offensive end. Beal drives left hand. That's going to be a foul. Shear grabbed her arm. You got to talk out there.
You do. Communication is everything when it comes to defense, and credit to Beal to getting to the basket.
Actually, it was Blair Green. Grabbed her arm there. Well, they say she was in the act of shooting. Okay. Beal not a very good free throw shooter, just 4 of 12 coming into this game on the season. That's 33%.
But of course, she knocks the first one down.
Yep, they had the second. But you got to talk on offense as well as defense. They dropped that ball off to Walker. She'd already turned her head to go the other way. Easy turnover, and they got 2 points out of it. Boy, Shear, nicely done. Ooh, that all the way down and comes out. There's the steal by Walker. Oh, just can't get it to fall, and then you're going to get a foul on Fletcher. 2 good looks that time by the Cats.
And great hustle by Kentucky on stealing the ball, getting the offensive rebound, but that's one of those, especially when you're playing an excellent basketball team, you have to knock down that easy shot for the 2 points.
So Benton, the trigger person underneath the basket, gets it into Shear. Back to Benton. High arcing shot over the outstretched hands of Boston.
And I want to say beautiful pass, but I'm not really sure she meant to throw that pass to Benton, but it worked out in the end.
Benton is going to have to pick up the slack here in the second half because they are really overplaying Shear. Here comes the crowd into the game. So what do? They get it into the player of the year, and she walks.
Shear coming off that screen, and it kind of got tipped. It looked like she was passing the ball, but Benton knocked it down.
Here comes Benton off the little screen. That ball way hard. Hammers it off the glass. Beal right down the lane she goes. She's fouled as she goes up. She'll go back to the free throw line. Foul on Shear.
And I love how South Carolina is attacking the basket. Now, if you're Kentucky, you have to keep your man in front of you. Beal's just making it look easy, get into that basket, and now she's at the free throw line for hopefully 2 easy points.
Jessica, what about somebody from that weak side as she comes over the top, slide in underneath her, right?
Exactly. As long as there is not a shooter in the strong side corner, that person can help in and not let them get that easy layup.
So Beal misses the first. People want Chick-fil-A. Second one is good. If in the second half, an opponent comes to the free throw line and misses both free throws, free Chick-fil-A for everybody
really?
at the game. That's why they go crazy, especially after they miss the first one. Put a little bit more pressure on the free throw shooter.
And gets the crowd into it a little bit more.
7-point lead now. Cats need a bucket. Walker slowly outside with it. One to go down to Benton. Couldn't. Off to Cambridge. 15 on the shot clock. Benton and Beal. Now to Green. Benton drives into the paint. Gives it off. 15-footer from the elbow. No good. Adeyeye just off the mark. An offensive foul. Zaya Cook. They say she pushed off with the elbow. Look at Coach Staley.
She is not very happy over there.
It's not very happy. Let's watch that left arm. Yeah, you couldn't really see it, but Kentucky's going to have the basketball down 7 when we come back. Here we are, Jessica. Watch that left arm. They looked at this to see if that was a flagrant.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays, you know, Cook felt her on her. Didn't like how close she was, gave her a little nudge, nothing to the face, right to the chest. So, you know, I don't see anything too wrong with that.
Right. But they looked at it, decided it wasn't just a regular foul, so it'll be Kentucky basketball at midcourt. Kentucky down 7. For South Carolina, they have not scored in almost 3 minutes, so Kentucky the window has been open. No field goals. They have made some free throws.
You know, Jeff, I'm looking at these stats right now. In South Carolina with only 5 offensive rebounds, which, I mean, they probably average around 20, so that's pretty impressive for Kentucky to keep them off the glass.
Benton pops out. 3 on the way, and it's good! Robin Benton knocks down her first 3 of the game. Kentucky within 4. Here comes the double team, and it's thrown away, but pulled in. They're going to call Petty with the foul. Yep.
And Kentucky is not going away. Nice pass out. Benton just knocks it down.
Was able to get her feet underneath her and get that shot in. Back in the game now is Cardoso. Camilla at 6'7" underneath. Cambridge on her, a big mismatch. So they've got the Twin Towers in right now for South Carolina. And Adeyeye gets the rebound. Out to Cambridge. Here come the Cats. 2-on-1 break. Cambridge takes it herself down the right side, pulls it back.
And that's a good decision by Cambridge, not to force the shot, but try to get a good look.
Benton's 3 was right there. Adeyeye comes around with the rebound. Just off the mark for Benton. Fresh shot clock. It resets to 20 for Kentucky. Here's Benton again. Benton's kind of taking over the offense. And they're going to call that hands again on Raven Johnson.
And Jeff, that's Kentucky's 9th offensive rebound now, and that's played a big part in the game because you know, Kentucky, if they miss the first shot, they get another opportunity to score. And when you're playing a team that's as good as South Carolina, you need all the opportunities you can get.
Walker wanted to throw that three, but she didn't. Well, she comes off the little screen, steps back. 7 on the shot clock. Benton in with the big, tall timber and lays it in off the glass.
Nice take by Benton. You know, like we talked about, offensive rebounds. They had the offensive rebound. Benton just took it to the basket. And now it's a 2-point game again.
And now the crowd back in the game here as Kentucky is battled back to within 2. Inside they go. And it's good. And that's just size inside by Camila Cardoso. 6'7".
Nice pass, nice footwork, and way to just keep the ball high, lay it right off the
Petty
glass.
had great positioning. And there's another block. Benton runs that one down as Boston smacked it out of the air. Benton tries to go in and another block. And this time it's Amaye.
And like we talked about earlier, South Carolina is so big and lengthy. You know, it looks like she got the first step on South Carolina's player, but South Carolina, like we said, she's so long, she just tips it right out.
You were just talking about that a couple breaks ago, and that's Amaye at 6'4", and she just, her length. Five seconds. Walker's got to do something with it. And right as the buzzer, the ball drops through the basket. Kentucky again within 2.
And that's what you call, she just found a way to put that in the basket.
Sheer will by Jada Walker. Isaiah goes all the way and doesn't go down, but rebound. Letitia.
Nice take by Isaiah Cook. She just couldn't get it to go.
Long 3-ball. Man. When they need it, they got so many weapons.
No, they really do.
Me here, Johnson, Cook, Boston with one right after the other.
And that's the thing, Kentucky is trying to focus so much on Aaliyah Boston inside. Outside, 3-point shooters are open. South Carolina made the nice pass, and Johnson knocked it down.
Nice little give and go there. Petty will go to the free throw line.
And just the patience that Walker had, knowing the shot clock, it got down to 4 seconds. She had to do something. And then Raven Johnson knocking down the 3-point shot. Cardoso didn't have the ball inside the paint. She didn't have her shot, so she just kicked it out.
2 pretty big free throws right here for the Wildcats with 83 seconds left, and Petty can't get it to go. 1 of 3 now from the free throw line for Petty. Wildcats 2 of 5. Boy, Cambridge stepped inside the lane, got the rebound. That's basically a double foul. You got Boston, and then here you got her again. So 2 fouls in a matter of, 2 seconds on the clock?
No, that's huge. And they always say if you're going to miss a free throw, you always want to miss the second one so your teammates have the opportunity to clean it back up. And now Cambridge is at the line for another 2-point opportunity play.
Free throws have hurt any team that's called the Wildcats in blue and white. Men, women, it doesn't matter. They cannot make free throws. And it has hurt them tonight. Cambridge gets 1 of 2.
And that's one thing. If you want to beat the #1 team in the country, you have to take the easy points that they give you.
3 of 8 from the charity stripe for the Wildcats. 9 of 12 for South Carolina. 4-point game here as we go down the last couple of seconds, and it's just Cardoso getting great position and a perfect entry pass.
Yeah, no, you can't draw that one up any better.
Under a minute to play. 6-point lead. Cambridge can't get her shot off, so now it's Shear. There's the drop down to Petty. She goes up and under and puts it in, but that was a nice move.
A very nice move. And, I mean, that was good defense by Cardoso, keeping our hands high. But South Carolina, Kentucky, got the layup on the other end. South Carolina is so quick, gets to the other end, draws the foul.
You can't celebrate. You've got to get down the court. And that time it was Adieye that had to come over and make the foul. And that was a good hard foul.
Yes.
No and one. Let me here gets the first.
And both teams still just battling it out on the floor right now. And free throws are making the difference in the game right now.
11 of 14 are the Gamecocks. So 3-second difference in the shot clock of the Gamecock as Shear pulls it out. And Coach Elsey says, let's go, play basketball. Shear waiting on the pick. There it is by Petty. Back to Walker.
Kentucky being very patient right now.
Walker can't get it to go, and they're going to call a foul inside on Petty. That's her second.
And way to be patient. Walker attacking the basket, but Boston just going up strong and getting that rebound.
Boy, for Jada Walker, that's one of those shots that falls more than 60% of the time.
No, definitely. And for Kentucky, Boston had the rebound. That's one of those fouls, 90 feet from their goal.
Yep.
4.9 seconds left. I mean, it's a 6-point game right now.
Yep. Just free money right here.
Yes.
Splash on the first free throw. So Boston now with 15 points. Cook leads them with 18. Leading scorer in the game is Zaya Cook. The only two in double figures for South Carolina. Boston goes out. Cook comes in. You lose about a foot in size right there, but so you want to catch the ball going the other way. Here comes Cambridge. 3, 2, 1. And she can't get it on.
And great time awareness by Cambridge, but Cardoso is just there with her long, lengthy arms to not allow that shot to get out.
So again, a little spurt by South Carolina to end the quarter, and they have an 8-point lead as we head to the fourth, 59-51.
In South Carolina in the fourth quarter, leading by 8. Aaliyah Boston has been the talk of the night. Just look at her getting those offensive rebounds. She may miss the first one, gets her rebound, puts it back, padding her stats. I mean, just an incredible basketball player. So long and lengthy, great on defense. Should I say excellent on defense. Just an all-around excellent player for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Look at that point. 16 tonight, 7 for 9, 9 rebounds, almost at that double-double.
Ready for another double-double. She averages 11.5 at 9.3. She was the 2022 National Player of the Year, and you're seeing why. Great size, great footwork, and she can catch the ball. She has really good hands.
And I'm most impressive, she's taken the ball off the dribble a few times as well. Being that big, you really don't see that as much in players nowadays, but for her to be able to handle the basketball, rip and drive, get to the basket, it really excels her game to the next level.
Nice crowd here at Memorial Coliseum, and as I told you, Jessica, as soon as this season is over, they are basically gutting this and starting all over again. This has been one of the most historic venues in college basketball. Adolph Rupp, and of course all those years and all the great players from Wah Jones to Cliff Hagan to Dan Issel, Mike Pratt, they all played on this court. Pete Maravich played here, saw a great game between Maravich and Issel here, and they're going to redo the whole building. The best thing, they're putting air conditioning in here. A lot of people are happy about that. 59-51, so the Gamecocks get it to start this final quarter here. And they go right inside, which they've done all game, and it's thrown away. Walker gets in the passing lane and makes the steal. Walker's going to try to take it all the way up and under. Oh, gives it off to Leveretter. She wasn't ready. Boy, quickly down the court. Can't get it to fall, but right there with another offensive rebound. You talked about it all night, Cardoso.
Cardoso just having to stick her hands up. The ball falls right to her, puts it back up. And Maddie Shear, another three-point shot.
Shear's got 20, 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. Johnson into the forecourt. Kentucky stays in the man-to-man. Zaya drops it inside. Cardoso looking. Here comes the cutter, Johnson. She lost her defender, Benton, and lays it up and in.
And nice cut by Johnson.
But how about the pass?
Beautiful pass, but that's the thing. Cardoso's one-on-one with an undersized defender. I would like to see her face up to the basket. Maddie Shear again. South Carolina has got to be able to find her on the fast break.
Boy, Shear is having one of those nights, back-to-back 20-plus point games for Shear. Zaya Cook, she'll pull it out, slow things down a little bit. 7-point lead. Elbow jumper, good. Doesn't even trickle the net. She's got 20.
And Zaya Cook loves her pull-up jump shot. That is her go-to. It's just a beautiful shot. And like you said earlier, we don't see that as much in women's basketball nowadays. So it's definitely hard to guard.
Little two-man basketball here. Nia Leverett not ready for it. Well, it was a little behind her, Benton, that pass. That was Benton's there. So what Kentucky did there, pulled three and the defenders and played a little two-man basketball.
Yes, they just couldn't execute. Kentucky needs to take a breath, slow down, go back to what they've been doing all game long.
Big miss there because here's a chance to go into double figures. Can't. And Blair Green pulls down the rebound. It's it off to Shear. To Leverett. Into the forecourt. Shear wants the ball back. Coming down to 7.5 minutes to play. Huge possession here for the Wildcats. 65-56. Shear off the screen, pulls it back out. Bad pass. Green, and they're going to call a foul. They're going to call the foul on Green. That's actually a pretty good foul because Leticia Amir was heading to the basket for an easy layup.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of those, bad pass by Shear. Just gets her hand on it, but a good foul because, like you said, it would have been 2 points on the other end.
Sadieye back in. Leverett takes the seat now.
Now Kentucky gets to set up in their defense. Yep. South Carolina needs to run something.
Maddie Shear and Zaya Cook putting on a show on the offensive ends for each team. Boston, what she's going to do, but boy, Cook again spins down, drops it down to Boston. You're going to get a foul on Adeyeye. A little late coming over and got her backside into her.
And like Maddie Shear, Zaya Cook guarding each other. That one, Zaya Cook was wide open. That is her pull-up jump shot. I would like to see her take that, but good pass to Leah Boston, and she gets the foul drawn on her. So I guess it's a win-win.
11.5 points, 9.3 rebounds a game. She shoots 55.5% from the field. Misses the second, and here comes Kentucky. South Carolina trying to trap. Walker breaks it easily with the screen from Adeyeye. Now to Benton. 7 minutes to play. Benton all the way up and under. They're going to call the foul on Cook from behind. So got her in the head.
And Benton just attacking the basket, not being afraid. Leaning in. Do you think that was? She got her arm a little bit?
I thought that was pretty clean, and so does Dawn Staley. And she is giving it to the officials.
I guess they can't make all of them
make
all the calls correctly.
I think that's kind of quirky when they make the shooter Tucker jersey in. Blair Green and Boston, and it's Kentucky's ball. Boy, that's fighting for the ball right there, Blair Green.
It really is. Kentucky knows that every possession matters right now.
It's a great point. You cannot, at this point in the game, you can't give away any possessions. And now you get an extra one. You got 1 point out of this one. Can you get through? Oh.
And you know what? We saw that earlier, too. Yep, court awareness. Every possession matters. In the beginning, South Carolina was down. They stepped out of bounds at that same spot.
It's that corner right there every time, it seems like.
I guess so.
Benton came down. She instead had both feet out of bounds when the pass came. So here's Johnson again as she spins over the top, drops it down to Boston, and just like that, an easy bucket.
And that's court awareness, too. Yep. Johnson driving to the nail, pulling two defenders, dropping it down to Leah Boston. Great play.
So into double figures now, the lead for South Carolina. They've made 4 of their last 5 shots, and they steal it away here. It's Johnson. 3-on-3 break. Beautiful pass to Hall, and she lays it in. What a pass.
Nice pass. And, you know, we talk about Maddie Shear's offensive, but that's two turnovers that she's had that have led to South Carolina getting some easy buckets, which you can't happen. 70-57. 6:25 to go in the fourth. South Carolina's up.
(70-57) is your score. South Carolina starting to pull away a little bit, and they want to stay undefeated.
No, they definitely do. And, you know, coming into this game, South Carolina knew it was going to be a battle after a close game against Mississippi State, but just the remaining undefeated teams, only 3, 16-0, LSU 16-0, Ohio State 17-0, and, you know, South Carolina is one of those teams who are going to want to go undefeated until the very end.
A couple of other games in SEC action tonight: LSU, Missouri, Ole Miss at Georgia, and Tennessee, Texas A&M. Number 9, Texas A&M, I should say. You ever been to College Station there in Texas A&M? It is a
I
very
don't think so.
Impressive campus.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty big. Everything's big in Texas. But that is one big campus that the Aggies have. Here's Benton. They've got to get a basket here. As we're running down to 6 minutes in the game, they're going to call offensive. Blair Green on the screen.
And, you know, even though that's a dead ball turnover, Kentucky can set up their defense. It's one, like we keep talking about throughout this broadcast, that Kentucky needs every possession. They need to value the basketball no matter what to try to get some shots up.
So turnovers 13 apiece. This running clock gets it inside, step around, and basket up and good by Amiga.
And Zia Cook just making it look easy, going right around Kentucky's defense to get the assist.
15-point lead, largest of the game for South Carolina. Here comes Benton, spins over the top. Nice defense by Cook, can't get anything away, almost lost the ball. 12 on the shot clock. Benton sneaks a look at the clock, and now she drives into the paint and creates contact, and she'll go back to the free throw line. They call that one on Cook again.
And good patience by Benton, but look at Zia Cook. We have talked about her all game long on the offensive end. She plays very well defense. She just, you know, Benton got around her and drew the foul.
So Benton back to the free throw line. Pretty good free throw shooter. You see the right pinky has that little splint on it. She injured that a week or so ago. Missed one game. It's on her shooting hand. And she gets into double figures as she hits both the free throws. Kentucky now 6 of 12, 50% from the charity stripe.
And this is a big possession for Kentucky's defense. And Aaliyah Boston making it look easy to put the dagger on Kentucky.
Boy, how fast does Amiri get up the floor? Man, oh man. Walker just spins around the entire defense. Benton, 17-footer off the back iron. And Boston with yet another rebound. Give her a double-double. That's 21 and 10.
And look at how South Carolina just pushes the pace. Kentucky was not set back up for their defense. Beal just gets it down, gets the easy layup. Look at that rip through. Just her first step attacking the basket. Had Kentucky off guard, and now Beal's going to the line for 2 free throws.
You know, that's the thing that really impresses me is the speed of their offense with the ball. I mean, the last 2 trips, they have gotten from point A to point B like that. A little bit of a 1-2-2 press here, but they just showing it. Here's Walker. Been stifled here in the second half. Shears made a couple baskets, but not like the first half where she had 16.
And Kentucky just trying to find something easy to get them going right now. But excellent defense by South Carolina.
Oh. Adieye smacked across the arm and maybe into the forehead, so she'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that's one of those that, you know, the shot clock's winding down. She probably wasn't going to make that shot. Bad foul.
But I'll tell you what, though, their defense is just, when they turn up the heat, it is stifling, isn't it?
No, it really is. And that's the thing. South Carolina has 5 amazing starters, but their bench, you can roll people in and out all night long, and that's what makes them so good.
Another missed free throw. Adieye misses a both. Benton keeps it alive, but right to Boston, and here comes South Carolina. 3-on-1 break.
And just running the floor again and making it look easy.
Levy here again. Here comes Walker.
There's no communication for Kentucky's defense right now. The first half, they were communicating, they were stopping the ball, and I don't know if they're tired or what. South Carolina has just run them down.
Boy, every time you think you've got an opening, a black jersey just jumps out in front of you. And there's a nice rebound there by Beal. Beal's going to take it herself all the way into the paint, to the bucket. And she creates the contact, gets the foul. She'll go to the free throw line.
And Beal, we've seen her all night long just attacking the basket and drawing the foul, getting to the free throw line, knocking them down.
Kentucky has not made a field goal in their last 5 minutes. And South Carolina's made 6 of 6.
I know we look at it 79-59 now, but I mean, just a few minutes ago, it was still a tight game.
It was a 4-point game.
But that's what the great teams do. They make little runs, and then at the end, they hit you all at once and just keep pushing it, pushing the pace, making open shots, making it look easy to run the other team down.
Shear off to Walker. Walker, little running one-hander, no good. Now they're starting to pull away on the rebounding side of things.
I mean, just look at how they're pushing the pace, continuing, even though 22-point game.
So who did they call the foul on there? I did not hear who they called that on.
Looks like Leverett.
So Adieye out. Yep, Leverett, that's her 4th. So Kennedy Cambridge back in the game for the Cats. Here's Shear.
Walker's still attacking the basket. I will say, though, Kentucky, Shear again with the 3.
Open 3. She's no quitting that young lady. She's got 25 now. That's her 5th 3 of the game. 5 of 6. She's 10 of 14 from the floor.
A season high of 25 points. SEC standings, LSU 4-0, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Arkansas. Kentucky's at the bottom, but you know what? They have really put up a fight tonight, and they're going to be able to look at this film tomorrow, the next day, and really see the good things that they did in the first half, and then some of the things they need to work on to get better as a team.
Kitts ahead of everyone down the floor with those big strides. Boy, Chloe Kitts comes in and just a freshman, and she gives him another 6'2" wing player.
Look at those long legs, her stride, just going up strong with that basketball, but way to Benton not to give her an and one.
Back in the game, Amaya Jenkins for the Wildcats, a freshman.
And South Carolina with another offensive rebound.
Yeah, it never stops. It really doesn't. They're going to say Shear touched that last, so it will stay with South Carolina. Every ball now seems to be going to the black and red. Petty comes back in, Leveritter out. Chloe Kitts, a Max Preps second-team All-American coming out of high school in Florida. Another foul call. You know, it's times like this in a game where it just seems like you would just let the little ticky-tack fouls go. You know, I think the game's over at this point. It's a 23-point lead,
yeah.
and yet
whenever it was close, you know, you've got to make those calls.
Exactly.
But now 2:20 left, game's a little bit, you know, out of reach. But I think for Kentucky, they still need to keep playing hard, trying to create something on the offense, trying to stop South Carolina on the defensive end to not let it get too out of hand.
So again, off the hands of Kentucky, Jenkins. So another chance for Carolina. And let's see, so they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be a 5-point trip. A free throw, a bucket, and now back to the free throw line.
I mean, Cardoso, it goes back to her length,
Yes.
though. She just keeps her hands up, goes after the ball and finds it.
5-point possession, if you want to call it that, for South Carolina. And now Kentucky finally gets it back on the offensive end, now down 27. 3 by Russell on the way, no good. Petty with the big rebound. Russell to Walker, 2 minutes left. Walker off the glass, lays it in again.
And Walker has not backed down this entire game. We've seen her attack the basket, get to the free throw line, get her teammates open shots. She really came to fight. We have an offensive foul on South Carolina.
Watch Walker here. See what happens. Right there, she just twisted her ankle. She kind of got hit. Twisted her ankle a bit, but she's going to stay in. Now she's coming out. Cassidy Rowe comes in.
I think that's a smart decision at this point of the game with only 1:40 to play. Kentucky is now out of reach. Don't want to tweak anything else that's not necessary.
So another freshman comes in for South Carolina, Talisha Cooper. All she was a McDonald's All-American and a 3-time Player of the Year in South Carolina. Big shot there. That's her with the basketball. Yeah, Russell
tried to dig in and just created a silly foul. But like we talked about, that's one of those ones, you know, Kentucky, you don't foul there. She's not turning around to shoot to score. Kind of just a silly foul.
Cassidy Rowe in the game for the Cats. She wears number 23.
And South Carolina free throws tonight have been excellent. I mean, 22 for 28 now.
Yeah, almost 80%.
Lucky.
Better be
the lucky bounce.
lucky than good, right? As Russell dribbles away, gets it taken away. Just dribble it, not knowing where the defense was, and that was Bree Hall, the sophomore out of Dayton, Ohio, that puts it in. Cassidy Rose says, "Go on, let me take it. I got it myself." Russell looking for Jenkins inside. Nothing there. Here's Cassidy Rowe. 8 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Got to get a shot. Got to shoot.
You know, and that's court awareness right now. That's when you start subbing players in who don't get as much playing time.
Yep.
That's one of those things you have to come in and not do anything silly. Know the shot clock. I know South Carolina is big, but you got to find a way to put the ball up.
Jenkins and Russell that time both had chances to shoot, didn't, and shot clock runs out.
You know, I've been so impressed with South Carolina as they were down 10 at one point, and just the way they never looked like they were down like that, and they just have gradually worked their way back in, and now all the way 95 to 66.
Russell.
And I think that will be a timeout. Timeout for Kentucky with 13 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. And, you know, it's a 95-66 game, but started the fourth quarter, it was a close game still.
So here's what Kentucky has coming up on their schedule: at Florida on Sunday, then at Mississippi State. Then they come home with a couple against Auburn and Missouri before they head right back on February 2nd to take on this South Carolina team again.
And South Carolina, Missouri, at Vanderbilt, Arkansas, at Alabama, Kentucky again.
Got that big game against Missouri on the mothership on January 15th. 1 o'clock tip. But the game really got away here in the fourth quarter as South Carolina's outscored Kentucky 36-15.
Ooh.
There's your difference in the game right there.
Yeah, but like I talked about earlier, Kentucky is going to be able to look at this film, watch the entire game, but the first half, see what they did really well against number 1 South Carolina, see what they did not so good in the fourth quarter to make it a 95-66 game. But they're going to be able to take the points, practice, get better. And honestly, I mean, for the first 3 quarters, they should be proud of what they did.
Yeah, and this is a South Carolina team. Remember, it's only given up 44 points a game, and you've scored 22 over that.
Exactly. And I have a feeling a lot of other teams who are about to play South Carolina are going to watch this film also to see what Kentucky did to not allow them to score in the first half.
Adiaye right back to Russell. Russell goes up and under. Misses badly there. And rebound comes off to Cooper. And that will about do it. They can hold it out front for the final second. They do. For 3 quarters, this was a really good basketball game, but Dawn Staley's troops pull away in the fourth. They outscored Kentucky 36-15 and win it 95-66.
South Carolina extending their winning streak to 23 games, second longest in program history at 26. A great ball game, but South Carolina just pulled away at the end.
You know, the last team to beat them was this Kentucky squad, but they couldn't do it today. But a valiant try. It was fun working with you. Hope to get to work with you again sometime soon.
Thank you so much. Great broadcast.
Thank you. For Jet Scott, Jeff, and again, your final score for Memorial Coliseum, the final 95-66. South Carolina remains number 1 and undefeated.